Engineers change the world by creating new technologies that solve world problems. In the midst of today's political, social and economic upheaval, now more than ever, we need engineers to lead the way. To be creative, to develop technical solutions that will transform society and the environment. However, just having a great idea is not enough. Engineers need guidance, financial support and business skills to turn their ideas into reality. Engineers in Business Fellowship promotes the combining of business skills with engineering. It provides scholarships to study for MBAs to talented engineers and mentoring support to engineering students and young engineers. The aim of Engineers in Business Fellowship is to empower engineers to become leaders who create jobs and employment to boost the UK economy and to champion solutions to tackle social and environmental problems. Tonight, the 10 finalists of the Engineers in Business competition are all here to pitch ideas they hope will better prepare society for the future. It's time to find out how they will do. Coming to you live from the Royal Academy of Engineering in London, please welcome your host, TV presenter and passionate engineer, Rob Bell.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, hello, thank you and welcome to everybody. Yes, on this stage, 10 university-based teams will be pitching their engineering ideas to our 4 judges. Welcome to the engineering version of the Dragon's Den. Now, I work in TV, but I've never been on Dragon's Den, and for pretty good reason, really. I'm neither the inventor nor founder of a genius new product or service, nor am I a highly successful business entrepreneur or investor with plenty of cash to invest. But I am a very passionate engineer, and I thrive on seeing good ideas put into practice, and this is all part of that process. Now, I've learned in the TV industry that you can be an expert in your field. You can know loads and loads of stuff, but that can be wasted if you can't communicate it effectively. And that's exactly the same with engineering. A winning design or idea is all well and good, but it's going to be very difficult to make a success of without communicating it or selling it. But it's not all that easy, is it? And so I am hugely supportive of Engineers in Business Fellowship for promoting and encouraging the bringing together of these 2 disciplines to help the future professional engineers, commercialise their work better. Ultimately improving the economic performance of UK engineering and sustaining that reputation and value of the phrase engineered in Britain. And that is the unenviable challenge of our competitors who will be up here on this stage this afternoon to perform under that pressure, to perform under the spotlight. Now, our 10 teams will be pitching to our 4 judges who will be sat here in the hope of winning one of the prizes in our 2 categories. Those categories are Big Ideas and Startup. And we also have the Enterprise Award of £5,000, which will be given to the team with the most commercial potential. Now, before we meet our judges for today's competition, yesterday, our 10 finalist teams received some top tips on how best to sell and present their ideas from some Sainsbury Fellowship mentors. And we're going to have a look at how that went on this little VT here now.
I'm from Amara Automotive and we create truly sustainable vehicles without compromise.
We've got a new innovation that should massively help the elderly to sit and stand.
We have designed a hospital robot that aims at reducing pharmaceutical wastage in UK hospitals.
I've created the My First Carbon Capture Kit, which uses the wake of a passing car to drive air through the system.
And my idea is a plastic-powered train, a metro rail to run in South Africa that runs on plastic waste.
Our idea is a sustainable programme teaching STEM and the repair of electronic gadgets.
Amherst provide AI solutions for real-time aerodynamic performance analysis.
We make low-power, low-cost aircon
that is good for the world because it's carbon neutral. I'm nervous and excited. I just want to compete and do my best.
We're really looking forward to the competition tomorrow. We want to really impress the judges with our pitch. We're working hard on this and hopefully they like our NHS idea.
We're very excited for today, very excited to get our idea in front of the mentors.
We've only got 3 minutes, which is a very short window to express all the work we've been doing over the last year.
I think this is an amazing opportunity to chat with some mentors about my idea and see if it could go any further in the real world.
It's a fantastic competition. It's a real chance to show how these innovations can transform societal needs and problems, and we have a really fun interactive day with lots of tutoring and mentoring today.
Well, so what I love about young people is all that innovation and new thinking, so I'm really expecting to see a lot of that today.
It's going to be a fantastic day, a lot of energy, a lot of fantastic ideas from some extremely talented people.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Engineers in Business Fellowship Champion of Champions Coaching and Publicity Day.
We were inspired to come up with the Smart Bell during lockdown because we got frustrated with how long it took to change weight when you were working out.
Moddies is an educational STEM toy, bridging the gap between beginner coding all the way up to industry standards.
Today we're hoping to get some validation for our idea as well as our pitch, and we're also super excited to meet all the other peers in the programme.
I'm so happy to be selected as a finalist in the Engineers in Business competition to showcase my business, get really valuable feedback on it and just do my best.
Being selected to be part of the Engineers in Business competition as a team, I think we're all very grateful, very proud of ourselves and our actual achievements to get us this far.
It's always fun to work with young upcoming talent, kind of comparing to when I was much younger. They're light years ahead of how they present their ideas, how they're thinking, and also the impact they want to make in society.
We've had some to and fro's, a lot of interesting debate, but overall I think this idea is a brilliant one.
I feel much confident now that the presentation could be a winning one, thanks to my dear mentor, Mrs. Simon.
It's really encouraging to see a really good big idea like this being fleshed out as to how it could be done.
He's taken my PowerPoint presentation and helped me get the most out of it and helped me reach my full potential.
As an engineer, learning business skills is vital because engineering is about solving the problems, but business skills about identifying those problems and turning those ideas into practical solutions.
To be part of the Engineers in Business competition is a great honour to be respected by such a prestigious institution and being recognised for the work we've done.
Excited to be part of the competition because it gets our product out there and it gives us practice with pitching and lets us refine our techniques.
I'm super excited to have that 3 minutes to present my idea. Hopefully the judges will like it.
There's two things I take away very quickly from seeing that little short video that we had there. First of all, it's the first time we've actually said this phrase up here, the champion of champions, which I think is something to acknowledge. Yes, we're looking for a champion here today, but to get here already, you're already champions. Let's just acknowledge that in the room, I think. And secondly, it certainly feels like from what you see, and I know these are clips, and I know when someone shoves a camera in your face, because I'm experienced in that, you say whatever comes into mind. But it certainly seems that you guys all got a lot from those mentoring sessions yesterday, from those Sainsbury Management Fellows. Would that generally be the consensus from the teams? Lots of nodding heads, yes. It's fantastic to see, and those guys have got such a wealth of experience, and I hope that you're able, and I'm sure you have been able to integrate that into your presentations. Right then, it's time to meet our 4 judges. Knees suddenly starting to quake at the front of the room here. Please welcome up onto the stage. First of all, Sainsbury Management Fellow, Ms. Caroline Cake, Entrepreneur in Residence at Oxford Science Enterprises. Welcome, Caroline. Another Sainsbury Management Fellow, Mr. Kwok Ing, Strategy Programme Manager at the Crown Estates. Welcome, Kwok. Dr. Terry Holloway, Head of the Ingenuity Lab and Entrepreneur in Residence at the University of Nottingham. Welcome, Terry. And finally, our head judge, who is a serial entrepreneur and a former president of the Sainsbury Management Fellows and currently CEO of the Solar Botanic Tree Company, Mr. Chris Shelley. Welcome to our judges. Now, judges, get comfortable. Now, I know you've already seen videos from all of the pitches. You've seen their posters. You've seen their business model canvas to get an idea of the pitches that they're going to be giving you and the products or services. But what I want to try and get from you so that the room and the teams here can understand is what it is you are going to be looking for in these pitches. I mean, the pressure really is on when they come up onto the stage here. But I mean, arguably, that's what they're going to have to be doing in boardrooms around the country, who knows, around the world in the future to get their ideas across. I mean, how important is that they can get those ideas across? Chris, I'll come to you first as our head judge.
In my experience, the number one issue for anybody wanting to pitch an idea is you've got to get that passion across, the commitment across, and you've got to be able to communicate, as you've said. If you can't sell your idea, then your idea is actually fundamentally worthless. So this is a really important skill to develop.
There's some advice there. Thank you, Chris. We're going to be hearing a lot more from you later on as we go through. Judge Caroline, I'll come across to you. The teams only have 3 minutes to pitch the benefits of their service or their product up here on stage, which is not very long, and I'm sure they all realise that now. But as you sit in the chair there as a judge of this competition, do you see yourself purely as a judge, or might you try and put yourself in the shoes of maybe a member of a boardroom, a member of a board in a boardroom, or perhaps even a potential investor for some of these teams?
Yeah, I think I'm probably looking at from 3 different routes. So one is, yes, as a potential investor, but also as a potential board member, but probably more appropriate or closer, having been on the same side of the fence as you guys 2 weeks ago when I was pitching to a VC, probably also sitting where you are now, as saying who's going to be credible in this in terms of being able to sit in front of an investor and actually look as a credible leader of the company.
And that credibility, I'll pick up on that word. Is that something that really comes across when, can you identify somebody who really is credible or maybe not quite so credible, and that belief that they may have in their product or their service or whatever it may be that they're pitching?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be looking to see actually how consistent am I seeing what you're saying, the consistency between the different aspects, but also how you're presenting it. Does it come across? Does it chimes true when you're saying it?
Lovely. Thank you, Caroline. Judge Koch, let's come across to you. What is the key element you're going to be looking for in our pitches here today?
Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to hearing your pitches. So there's 2 key things I'm really looking forward to hearing from you folks. There's ideas that really make a difference in this world. And the second thing is true leadership, like energy and passion and really wanting to make a difference and driving the ideas forward. So with those two key things, if you can demonstrate that, that's what I'll be looking for.
That passion, that is something that you'll pick up on from it is a performance, really, isn't it, that they're going to be given up on stage?
Exactly. There's a lot you can tell from that initial performance, or that pitch, from their first few minutes, from what you say, how you act, the genuine kind of belief in your product and your idea. So good luck to you guys. I'm looking forward to hearing about it.
Thank you, Judge Kwok. And finally, let's come across to Judge Terry. Now, it's going to be tough this is a tough gig for the teams here today, but how tough is your gig as a judge?
Oh, it's so difficult because, as you said at the start, we're looking at the champion of champions. Mm-hmm. So you're all winners today. That's something to really focus on, is that you would not be this far if you hadn't already shown so much ability within your companies, and we're all quite proud of you for that. But I'll be looking for the why today behind these ventures. Do you have the core of your story so that we'll understand whether or not you have the drive to take it through to completion?
Lovely. Thank you very much. I hope that's useful for you hearing from our judges. Ladies and gentlemen, our judging panel. Let's hear it for them, please. So as I said, guys, get comfy. You're going to have a busy time ahead of you over the next hour or so. Okay, this evening the pressure is on our teams, as we keep saying. I don't need to keep hammering that home, but it's in the script, so I will keep saying it. And yeah, it is a pressure to perform, as we're talking about with Judge Kwok. And that is what they're going to have to do. You're going to have to do that in the future as you take your products and your ideas forward. Now, you may have already voted out in the audience. You may have already voted for your team to win the pre-show prize on the EIBC website. After all 10 teams have pitched here this afternoon, we'd also like you to participate in the judging by voting for the audience prize, which is a prize worth £500 for one of the teams. Now, we'll be using slido.com, and we'll be going through the details of exactly how to do that after we've heard from all of the teams. So Just out in the audience, please bear that in mind as you hear the pitches up on the stage. The team with the most votes will win that £500 audience prize. And that's exciting for the audience as well, right? Yes, nods. Thank you. Lovely. So we'll be announcing the winners of that pre-show prize and the audience prize at the end of the show. And if you're on social media out there, if you're tweeting about this or on Instagram or TikTok or wherever it might be, as we go through the proceedings, please remember to use the hashtag EIBC Grand Final. There it is, EIBC Grand Final. Okay, also joining us after the teams have pitched and before we announce the prize winners, we have some special guests, which we'll be hearing from. We'll be hearing from several of our past competitors who will tell you about how the EIBC competition has helped them to progress their businesses in the year or so that's been since the last competition. And we'll be hearing from Professor Alan Rennie, who will be telling us exactly how Engineers in Business has helped him to encourage budding entrepreneurs at Lancaster University, who we have some representatives from who will be pitching here as well. So it's a jam-packed show, ladies and gentlemen, a jam-packed show. So I think we should really get pitching, get to it, get to the business. So today you're going to be hearing about sterile dispensing robots. You're going to be hearing about children learning how to fix electronic gadgets. We've got carbon capture, we've got AI solutions, 12-volt air conditioning, hydrogen gas from waste plastic. We've got upgradable e-bikes, battery-powered mobility robot STEM toys. I sound a bit like Del Boy doing this, doing a pitch. And finally, someone has invented a smart bell. And no, that's not a software update for me. It's a smart fitness device. Lots to hear from, lots to hear from. Okay, well, without further ado, here we go. This is how it works. Each team have 3 minutes to pitch their idea to our 4 judges. After which the judges can ask some quick questions and we'll then move on to the next team. And I'm going to be fair, I'm going to be cutting off at that 3-minute deadline right on 0:00. And the clock is going to be at the back of the room for you guys to see, so you'll know how long you've got left. So the first category is big ideas. This is for younger students who wish to express their potential to tackle a big problem by combining business and technology. And we start with Team Argicat Robot from Oxford University. Their big idea is to prevent hospitals from throwing away unused medicines by using robots as sterile dispensers just in time of patient need. So please welcome up onto the stage Team Argicat Robot. We have Aryan Banap, we have Catherine Ning, and Jiale Wong. Guys, the stage is yours. You know how it rolls. You've got 3 minutes, and your time starts now.
So a year ago, my team and I were tasked with designing a service robot. Now, where can you apply robotics in order to solve some of the most pressing societal issues? To us, it's in healthcare, and hospital logistics in particular. Now, under the current system in UK hospitals, when a new patient is hospitalized, their medication is brought from the ward pharmacy and stored in a locker next to their bed. But this comes as a standard weekly or monthly dosage. And here's the issue. Upon discharge, many patients end up not finishing this stockpile of medicine. And what we see as a result is a huge amount of pharmaceutical wastage, which, based on our research and interviews with the next pharmacist, can add up to a value of a whopping £173 million per year. And here's our solution to this. Argicat, a hospital service robot which delivers medicines as a daily dosage. This allows us to turn this just-in-case dispensation scheme into one that is effectively just-in-time, thus reducing pharmaceutical wastage, and this is our key value proposition.
Argicat is a 1.3 meters tall robot that is designed to navigate hospital corridors autonomously without any human intervention at all. It is equipped with 2 secured delivery trays with 12 compartments to house multiple patients' medication at once. To prevent tampering of medication, there is an electromagnetic lock that can only be unlocked using the fingerprint of an authorized nurse. We envision each hospital having multiple units of our Argicat robot, and they will be managed efficiently with our server-based fleet management system. We see our key customer segments as the UK hospitals, particularly those managed by the NHS. This is because their operations aligns directly with our key value proposition of reducing pharmaceutical wastage. We will also develop our robot together with customers through trials and pilot tests. This is to reduce buyer reluctance and to optimize our robot for their specific use cases and requirements.
We set out to identify how much a single ArchiCAT unit can save in medicine wastage each year using our funnel approach, starting at the top with NHS total medicine wastage and filtering down to the average wastage saved by a single ArchiCAT unit, which we estimate in £4,500. We offer both upfront and rental sales, with our upfront model pricing at 40% of 5-year inflation-adjusted wastage savings, leading to 60% net cost savings for clients. Note that our upfront price of £10,000 covers 5 years of usage, as compared to £20,000 per year for a nurse helper. Our forecasts show that, in a rent-only scenario for the first 2 years as a result of NHS pilot schemes, followed by blended volume growth through upfront sales and rental sales, we see potential for positive gross profit going forward as a result of aggregated rental sales and upfront gross margins. Thank you very much for listening.
Let's hear it for Team ArchiCAT. Well done, guys. Fantastic. Hey, judges, it's all happening whirlwind speed. Not much time to digest that, but Chris, I'm going to come to you first. If you have a question for our Team ArchiCAT.
Yeah, very interesting. Thank you. Great presentation. What competition do you see out there for this kind of approach that you're taking? Is there anything in the marketplace anywhere in the world that you've seen something along these lines that would be a threat or would perhaps validate the market?
Jolly, do you want to take this question?
Yeah, sure. So in our analysis, we actually look at competitors offering similar products to us. And our goal is to address a niche of medicine delivery and be very good at it. So we've identified some competitors out there. So particularly Moxie. Moxie is a robot that is used to transport goods in hospital, but it tends to be rather small and light. And then there's also the Ethan Tug, which is a bigger robot that's used to transport like beddings and bedsheets in hospitals, but it's harder to navigate the narrower corridors. And it also has no capacity to transport medicine without like people's intervention, because people has to be like loading everything into it and then also like managing and making sure it's all okay. So basically our robot is autonomous and it can work together as a fleet, which the other two robots cannot. So yeah, this is why we try to be good in our niche.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you. Comprehensive answers. Terry, I'll come along to you. Questions for the team.
Oh, it's a fantastic idea, guys, and great job as well. And I just love that you're thinking about waste from another perspective. I know you still have a great deal of market research and trials to conduct, but what has the sort of informal feedback been so far in terms of whether or not this is the solution to the problem?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. I think that's a great point. So it's worth mentioning that, you know, at the end of the day, what we're really trying to do here is address a high-level problem of structural wastage, right? We're seeing in the NHS the current prescription paradigm of just in case is very wasteful. Now, from our analysis, a robot, upon speaking with an ex-pharmacist, was a potentially very, an interesting proposition, given its scalability over 5 years versus, a nurse helper of £20,000 who also does a lot more other tasks, which right now in the current demand narrative isn't required. Nurses are, working at full capacity, and that's what we need in the economy. And so I think the point is that, yes, there are other non-technical solutions, such as patients bringing their own drugs from home. That avoids wastage, for example. But we also note that about 60% of visits are actually emergency visits, and it's very difficult to implement patients' own drugs in those scenarios. So, but you're absolutely right. Exploring other non-technical solutions is critical to addressing and making sure that we find the most cost-effective solution.
Nice one, Onion. Thank you. Judge Kwok, let's have a final question for you before we move on.
So my question is around the operations of the robot in this space, and I'll be interested to hear any feedback that you received from the medical staff, from any professionals in the area about how it would work alongside them in saving this waste.
Yep. Catherine, do you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So essentially, our project was an on-paper design, so we actually didn't go to an actual hospital to do the testing and trials, but that's why also in our presentation we focus really on the pre-trials and also the pilot testing, because that's standard industry practice, and we know that through that we can actually see what our customers need, so what the hospital in particular, how their infrastructure is, and actually we want our robot to be really customizable and adapt to our customers' needs, and as a result, yeah, I'm afraid we can't provide you with the details of how an actual robot would now work in a hospital, but this is why the pre-trials would be incorporated in our business plan.
If I may quickly add to that, I think Catherine's absolutely right. This is definitely a very, at an upstream stage, but our preliminary conversations, especially with the ex-pharmacists, kind of showed us that robots have problems going through doors, for example. And one of the nice things about RGCAT is the fact that it's only about the height of a water cooler, and a lot of the times in wards across the NHS, the doors are open to the rooms where the beds are. So that's already a massive hurdle we don't need to think about, as well as the fact that ward pharmacies actually exist on the same floor as many of the beds. So like the cardiology unit will have specialized heart medicines in the ward, very close by to the beds. So all we're really doing is providing a high-tech solution to dispense that medicine, which nurses unfortunately just don't have the time to do right now.
Lovely. Thank you very much. We're going to wrap it up there for Team RGCAT. Ladies and gentlemen, Aryan, Catherine and Giali. Dale, thank you very much. Representing Oxford University. But we are moving quickly on. Our second Big Ideas finalist is Max Wade with My First Carbon Kits, representing the University of Birmingham. Welcome to the stage, Max. Now, this is a passive home-use carbon capture system that enables people to reduce their carbon footprint from home. Max, welcome to the stage. You know the score.
Yeah.
How many minutes?
3.
There are 3. Good luck, Max. Your time starts now.
Okay, so why do we need an alternative to carbon capture? Well, for a start, whenever you capture the carbon, what have you got to do with it? You've got to sequester it, you've got to condense it into a liquid, and you've got to push it underground. And there's a number of issues with that. For example, potential leakages that we sort of, it's only in the early stages, so we don't know what might happen with that. The other and the other issue is the energy usage. So as you can see here, you're drawing air in through the fans, and my solution is to sort of do away with all of those things and to store the CO2 in a solid substance called calcium carbonate, and to drive the air through in a passive way through using the wake of a car. So what I essentially do is, as you can see on the screen now, you've got the steps of carbon capture. I essentially skip out those first and last steps, and that's the whole thing, is about making it simple. And you can see some stats on the screen there, but assuming if you want to remove half of this world's CO2 that's emitted each year, it's going to take about 142 exajoules. So how much is that? Well, it's that much. It's a lot of zeros. It's actually almost double the annual global energy production. And what it means is that the carbon capture itself, and it being a viable business model, the whole cost of it is tied to the cost of electricity, which right now, it's not just about saving the environment, it's also about saving our wallets as well. And so doing it in a very sustainable sense, in a business way as well. And that's why we need to sort of find a way of doing it cheaper and simpler. So in terms of how are we going to capture the carbon? Well, firstly, it's just a simple bit of chemistry that everyone does during their GCSE chemistry classes. To check for carbon dioxide, you actually bubble air through this test tube, and that's the equation you can see on there. But that's sort of my kind of thing of, rather than going into the full detail of is the reaction feasible and the rate of it and stuff like that, is that one thing I would say is that people have been doing this in chemistry classrooms for a long time, and whenever you bubble it through, you get that precipitate at the end, and you then filter it out. So in terms of how are we capturing our customers, the key to that is accessibility for consumers. Currently, there's no real accessible way for me and you to go and say, I'm going to offset my emissions properly with I'm actually going to capture it, other than sort of trees. So that's sort of in case you're wondering, that's the competitor. But so my proposal is to sort of have a system where you've either got a small home kit that you can have by yourself, almost like you tending to a plant, that you might go out and change it and everything like that, or you can have it on a large scale. You can use the same thing, so it's sort of idea on a very large scale for much bigger customers, maybe local councils and stuff like that, and sort of make it really accessible. The other side of it is sort of that gamification and saying, you can make progress, you can, almost like Strava did, you can post whatever you've offset online, and you can sort of track your carbon offsets, and sort of you can show the world how good you are. So thank you for listening.
Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Max. My First Carbon Kit. Thank you, Max. Well done. Well done. I mean, any means of reducing carbon in the atmosphere is obviously hugely pertinent. Caroline, I'll come to you for a question.
Thank you, Max. Thank you. That's obviously such an important issue, and I really like the idea of bringing it kind of local to the individual. I guess my question would be around the kind of net impact of that. So there's obviously the kind of energy associated with making that all happen, creating it, I suppose kind of netted off with the kind of actual carbon you'll be saving. Have you thought through that, and what have you come out with on that?
A little bit. Essentially, if you look at this equation, there's a mole ratio of 1:1 between calcium hydroxide and carbonate. But what that translates to in terms of weight is if you had 7 kilos of calcium hydroxide and you were to fully go through with the reaction, you'd have to keep putting it in. So then you'd get 4 kilos out of calcium carbonate. So like when you translate that into say 25 million households and you say like 50 kilos each, it turns into like 750 million tons of CO2, which is like a few % of what we emit from transport, for example. So you're talking like like around 5%, a little bit less for in terms of the amount of transport emissions that we produce in the UK.
Lovely, thank you, Max. Chris, can we come back round to you?
Yeah. So if you're a customer and you've identified the customers as being people who are, let me say, in one of your presentations, you talked about the fact that these are people who have got a very ecologically mindset. You know, you're playing to that. In terms of getting real traction here, you have to generally have a sort of fairly compelling commercial case for this, in terms of the impact, whether it's an environmental impact and what you're saving, or how do the economics of this work for Mr. Joe Public?
Yeah. So essentially, you come out with this, or you can't say you'd filter this. This would be your filtered out basically, and you end up with this something called calcium carbonate, and from that you can sell it on. So it gets used in the building industry. If you have garden soil that's too acidic, you can throw it in that. You know what I mean? Depending, so there's almost like something you can sell on afterwards to get more money back. And either you might just sell it back to the company who sold you the carbon capture kit or something like that. But the idea is that byproduct is useful in a number of applications, including agriculture as well.
Thank you. Yeah, lovely. And we've got time for one more question, Terry.
So I'm thinking of what the long-term dream is in terms of scaling the business, and also what type of team do you require to really be able to see this manifested and carried out?
So probably someone that's a bit better in chemistry than me. So that for a start, and then also I guess you do have to go aggressive with them. You would have to go aggressive with the marketing, and also manufacturing as cheap as possible. The idea of it being passive, so I didn't mention it too much, but the wake of the passing car and using the wake to drive the air through is meant to be cheap, no extra energy, just simple to use, and just really leaning into that with how you manufacture and how you design the whole thing. So it's a bit of both business and sort of technical as well.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Max.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Max Wade and my first carbon kit. Well done, Max. I haven't had to interrupt anybody's pitches yet. We're coming in very nicely with the 3 minutes time, which is a huge part of the challenge in itself. Okay, our third big idea finalist is Dhanul Wijatunya, who is from the University of Greenwich. He's designed a low-cost, environmentally friendly 12-volt air conditioning device that can be retrofitted to existing fan units. Come on up, Dhanul. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the stage, Dhanul, with UMAC, your presentation. Your 3 minutes. Good luck, Dhanul.
Thank you.
They're over to you. Start now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How was the heat this summer? Did you enjoy it? Is it getting more warmer every year? Well, unfortunately, heat is a serious problem all across the world. People are dying. Actually, it's the humidity and the heat stress that get to them. Millions are dying due to humidity exhaustion incidences, and the figure is set to grow due to climate change. Traditional aircon is simply out of reach for people, for billions of people across the world. But I've got a novel solution to this problem. My invention targets middle to low income markets across Asia, South America, Africa, and the Middle East. Almost all the continents combined, where hot, arid climates combine together. We eliminated the coolant compressor cycle from a standard air conditioner. This allows us to operate at a very low power and a voltage rating, such as 12 volts and 600 watts. Traditional aircon cycle on and off continuously, but my systems continuously run steadily, lowering the temperature gradually, but not stopping at all for a break. Even though it's not as efficient as current refrigerant cycles, we are the first carbon neutral system that can be powered by 2 solar panels with no inverter. So it's a totally DC system, direct current, which is low power. It is fully DIY and zero carbon footprint within it, and it's cheap as chips. Introducing the world's first chip-driven air-con heat pump unit, combo units. Chips have been around for decades, repurposed now to combat cheap climate conditioning. It's the world's first fabricated HVAC instrument with no complex tooling for its production. The benefits of UMark include a 100-pound product that retrofits any fan into a cooler heat pump unit, zero installation, maintenance, gases or emissions. It's a totally novel device. It's the world's first of its kind. Backed by a world-class advisory panel consisting of strategists, inventors, engineers and scientists who've had a track record in scaling global startups to solve global problems. We will exhibit the products, the debut products live and online, and generate pre-orders in known territories such as West Africa or Southeast Asia, proving a globally duplicable national model. Our pre-orders are well over £50,000, and it will be doubled once our finished samples are ready, and I've just showed you the proof of principle rig around here. This is the proof of principle rig, and once samples are finished, we can double our orders. The launch business plan forecasts an IRR and NPV, but it's touching £1 million on the third year of trading. I thank the EIB Fellowship for the idea to grow my business of eco-biased thermal energy. Together, we can make a massive impact, fundamentally change billions of lives in living in hot climates. Winning the competition will enhance the development of this device for the betterment of our world. Thank you very much.
Well done, Tanil. Well done. Another environmental idea, another idea that's touching on sustainability. Yes. Kwok, I'm coming to you for the first question for Tanil.
Fantastic idea. And I'm just interested with the back orders. Congratulations on getting those, by the way. How market ready is it? Do you actually have is it the product fully working and functioning, ready to go out?
T plus 2 months, 60 days.
60 days. And what do you see as the product evolving into? I'm sorry, I'm taking 2 questions there.
No, that's all right.
How do you see that product finalising over the next 60 days?
So basically, the proof of principle rig is as close to the functionality. It's on the aesthetic view. So we're just tweaking the aesthetics. The functionality is all done with, and the patent process is on the go. And our technology works with our proof of principle. That's what we wanted. And aesthetics, I'm not too concerned about because obviously we have really professional people required for and in line for the aesthetics.
Lovely, thank you. Thank you, Tanil. Thank you, Kwok. Caroline?
Thank you, Tanil. Really interesting and, really important problem to be addressing. In terms of what's the kind of key risk to your business?
To be honest, I did eliminate most of the risk by making a system that can be fabricated and not made with complex tools. So that drives down capital cost. And in the long run, if it's powered by 2 solar panels, you reduce 80% of the running cost of the system anyways. And when it's low power, you're drawing out less money from the socket or anywhere. So all the risk mitigation I did pre-hand. And going further, it's just about who would adapt our system and who would partner with us, because our IP is going to be very valuable, much more than our revenue stream anyways. So, of course, I hope that will be awarded.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll have one more question. Chris, if you've got a question.
Yeah. So you mentioned very briefly about the IP there. Where are you in the patenting process now? And
so we'll be a T plus 2 weeks on filing on 3 of our claims, of 6 on the pipeline. So the system has about 3 to 6 claims. So we'll be filing 3 of them within T plus 2 weeks. And obviously it takes 2 to 4 years for the whole process.
But you've gone for PCT, have you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And we're backed by London IP, one of the most prestigious IP firms. The senior partner is Paul Harmon, is my personal IP lawyer, and he backed us.
Very good.
Yep.
Lovely. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Tanil.
Thank you so much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, Tanil from University of Greenwich with the UMAC Big Idea. We are moving swiftly on to our 4th Big Idea presentation. Our finalist, we have Vanessa Chigariro and Plastic Powered Train, representing the University of Birmingham. Up you come, Vanessa. Now, Vanessa's idea is to use hydrogen gas sourced from deconstructed plastic waste for hydrogen fuel cells to refit to electric trains. Vanessa, the stage is yours. Good luck. You three have 3 minutes, and your time starts now.
Perfect. Can you imagine a world where train transportation is driven by plastic waste? Daily, we urge people to recycle, but unfortunately still, three-quarters of plastic waste still ends up dumped in landfills, which can take up to 1,000 years to fully decompose and also release harmful toxins into the water and earth. And daily, we urge people to use public transportation. But A, unfortunately, public transportation is still one of the leading carbon contributors. And B, electric trains that rely on electric supplies often have operational issues, such as power outages and copper cable theft, which makes this mode of transportation ineffective. This proposal suggests that instead of dumping the plastic waste in landfills, we collect it and transport it to train depots, where it will undergo a new 30-second chemical process, which will convert the plastic waste into carbon nanotubes and hydrogen gas. And this hydrogen gas can then be stored in hydrogen cylinders and stored at the depots, waiting to be used as a fuel. Then we can create a series powertrain consisting of 3 critical components: a hydrogen tank module, which consists of 4 of these hydrogen gas tanks, and a combination of hydrogen fuel cells and lithium-ion batteries that will work in tandem to generate the power requirement for the train. This will acting similar as a hybrid car. This can be retrofitted onto the train, and once this is done, the train, using the system, the train can last for about more than 24 hours without requiring to be refueled. Over here illustrates exactly what I was talking about, with the series powertrain over there drawn on CAD and that drawn schematically. And in order to do this, this needs to be mounted onto the train. So after careful consideration, it was decided to use a shape similar like this, as this was the optimal. It optimizes space, reduces weight, and increases aerodynamics of the train. In order to do this, you must remove the original overhead catenaries of the original metro rail and integrate it onto the train, retrofit it onto the train like this. In conclusion, I would just like to say I am extremely confident in my design's ability to grasp different elements from existing technologies, engineering, and businesses, and mold them together to create a mode of transport that will be successful, profitable, environmentally friendly, and original. So now I ask you, so now I ask you again, can you imagine a world where train transportation is powered by plastic waste? Because I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. And yet more environmental and sustainability ideas.
Where the world is going.
It is where the world is going. You're absolutely right, Vanessa. And let's see where our judges' questions are going. Terry, we're over to you. Questions for
Well,
Vanessa.
sadly, there's so many areas of the environment impacted by our transport, isn't there? It's a very difficult challenge. So why trains? Why did you among all the challenges that we have, in our carbon space, why trains?
I'm a bit of a nerd for trains, and I really enjoy. Basically, in South Africa, we don't have a proper public transportation system. Our trains don't work. I almost missed an exam because our trains just wouldn't move. And it really frustrates me because they're so reliant on the grid. And then while working on further projects and just discussing it more, bringing these different elements together for trains, I thought would be a fantastic idea. So, yeah. I hope that answers.
Well done.
There's nothing wrong with train geeks. Kwok, over to you.
Thank you for that. It's a very fascinating technology. I've been following it for the last couple of years. I know this is a collaboration between Oxford University and Nanjing, I believe, doing this plastics to hydrogen. And one of and it's going to be simply amazing to deal with the waste problem as well as an energy problem. Now, what I'm interested to understand is how ready do you think this is to kind of set up and roll out into retrofitting into these trains?
I think there's a real gap in the market, and along with that, I think the technologies are already there, as you were saying. The plastic to hydrogen is already something that is happening and working, and it's successful. And then hydrogen fuel cells, there are issues with the fact that hydrogen is hard to capture and put into gas tanks. But the fact that we're creating our own hydrogen, well, not creating, but generating our own hydrogen here from this, all together, just combining everything, I think with the money, the investment, and the team of engineers, this is ready to go. especially in countries like, for example, in South Africa, where 90% of our trains actually just lay at the depot anyway. So if we're able to get those trains and retrofit them on there, I think this is ready to go.
Lovely. And we've time for one more question. So, Caroline, we'll come to you, please.
Thank you. It's such an interesting idea. I guess I'll go for a very basic one in terms of I'm trying to visualise how much waste would I need to power a train a kilometre?
From the calculations that I did, so to power with the four cylinders are big enough to fit 328 litres of hydrogen gas, which is only 5 kgs. So not that much to, once you've got enough, not that much to have a proper long journey, if that makes sense. So I didn't really go too much into the details of how the chemical technology works. But I do know that it will produce hydrogen gas, and with that module, you can have about 25 hours of full train transportation.
Thank you.
Yes, there are those practicalities involved behind the idea itself. Thank you again, judges, and thank you, Vanessa. Thank you for Vanessa for her presentation, Plastic-Powered Train, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, our last Big Ideas finalist is Tamara Ivankova with Amara Automotive from the University of Southampton. Now, Tamara has designed a four-wheeled, weatherproof e-bike with crash protection, minimal emissions during both production and operation, which also allows for upgrading rather than replacement. Now, I'm going to just let everybody know that Tamara has suffered losing her voice today, of all days. But I think you've decided you're going to make the pitch as best you can. If she decides though halfway through that she wants to save her voice for the questions, I have her pitch and I will try and do her justice with that. But Tamara, your 3 minutes, best of luck. Start with you. Start now.
So, we're all aware of the ongoing climate emergency. We know that cars cause over 30% of all European emissions, and we're not doing enough about it. Each of you will continue to drive your big cars every single day, even for short journeys. We are proposing a new type of vehicle which minimises travel time, cost, and emissions. A vehicle which requires no driving licence, can be used in the cycle lanes, and is electrically assisted. You might be thinking that that's what e-bikes are, but they're not the solution. Only 4% of the UK cycle due to the lack of safety, comfort and practicality of existing bikes and e-bikes. At Amara Automotive, we have the solution. The LSE, a four-wheeled e-bike, which is the same height as an Audi R8, making it visible in traffic. It's comfortable with full weather protection all year round, and it's practical. It's one adult and a child and offers 300 litres of storage, making it perfect for last mile deliveries too. We use recycled and renewable materials and low-impact construction methods. Our vehicles are lightweight and efficient through low-drag aerodynamics, and we focus on upgradability rather than disposability. The LSE is the result of extensive research through testing MVPs with potential customers, and to date we've also raised over £7,000 and have registered interest in over 100 vehicles. We've completed wind tunnel testing, and the full-scale prototype build is now underway. There are already operators within the market with similar price points. For example, Podbike, who have thousands of pre-orders despite some flaws with the drivetrain. Their drivetrain is so overcomplicated that the vehicle is actually unusable with a flat battery, and it has delayed their production for over 3 years. We're keeping things simple. We're focusing on revenue and de-risking before we go to scale. And we plan on selling the LSE directly to our target customers and SMEs within Europe. 328,000 car journeys could be replaced with the LSE every single day, and that's just in Europe. The need is obvious, and the market is massive and growing rapidly. I have a background in motorsport, but my passion lies with sustainable vehicles. I've got the skills and industry experience to make Amara Automotive a success, but more importantly, I've got the drive to actually get it done. I've partnered with women in engineering at the University of Southampton to speed up the development process. As a society, we desperately need clean ways to travel. At Amara Automotive, this is exactly what we do, and we do it without compromising on the things that matter: safety, comfort, and practicality. I would love your support and funding to help us grow from our first vehicle to the industry standard. Thank you.
Well done, Tamara. Tamara Ivankova with Amara Automotive. I hope you've got enough voice for questions, because I can't really help you in answering the questions. Chris, we're over to you.
Excellent. Thank you for that. You did very well there. Well done. My question is that the whole concept of e-bikes and scooters is getting a lot of traction, certainly where I live in Bristol, where you can't go anywhere without running across an e-scooter. What the interesting wrinkle is that you can only rent these from a company that's regulated by the council. You can't, it's not actually legal to ride your own scooter on the road. So have you investigated the potential road use and policy issues that may be associated with this to allow this to be used by individuals as opposed to leasing companies?
Yes, so we've spoken to councils, the Southampton Council in particular, and actually we're in a different category to the e-scooters. They have different legal requirements. This vehicle will be fully certified as an e-bike, meeting the German DIN standards, which means that it can be used anywhere an e-bike can by any individual without a driving license. So that includes cycle lanes, but also roads.
Wow. Yeah, and I think that question is one that probably resonates with anyone who lives in a city, Chris. You know, we've seen vast numbers of these come onto the roads very, very quickly as well. Terry, over to you for your question.
Yeah, so Chris raised a really important point about the trend towards, just being out in the open air. Who's your the most attractive customer to what you're creating? Have you looked at your target market, and who do you think it'll be most useful to?
So B2C, it's city commuters who usually work in the office, and they want to get to work comfortably. They don't want to have to be sweaty or wet from the rain. So really it's people who want to get there quickly, don't want to waste time stuck in traffic, but also want to arrive in style. In terms of businesses, we're targeting smaller companies who have their own fleet of vehicles. We've had interest from a pharmaceutical company, and basically they have their own drivers, their own vehicles, and they make journeys within cities that are very short, but they need to have a vehicle which they can park easily and actually get things in and out of, and they're typically small parcels as well.
Excellent, thank you.
Thanks, Tamara. Kwok, we've got time for one last question.
I love the design. It's like something I would have drawn as a young kid. I was just interested actually more of the, what was your inspiration for coming up with this concept and design and led you to this this idea?
Well, I was working full-time and actually found it really difficult to commute. There wasn't, basically the safety is such a big thing when riding bicycles. That actually most people from my research, I found that was the top biggest thing stopping them. So I really wanted to have a vehicle where you are safe, you're protected, this is crash protection, and will be homologated to higher standards than e-bikes, so that you can get on the road and travel to a destination without being stuck in traffic. And yeah, this actually, the design in particular, I went through a lot of iterations. I started with a freewheeler concept, and then by going for pure aerodynamics, efficiency, and then by actually going to events, talking to my target customers, bringing MVPs along, actually ergonomics jigs and things like that, having people sit in. It evolved to what you see here, which is a really good balance between you have all the safety aspects I wanted, you have the efficiency from the aerodynamics, but you also have a really high level of practicality with the 300 litres of storage.
Fantastic. Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you, judges. Thank you, Tamara Ivankova with Amara Automotive from the University of Southampton. Great. Well, that concludes our big ideas pitches. So we now move on to our start-up contenders. Now, these are teams that have taken their big ideas and they're already working with them to develop that into a business. Now, our first start-up finalist is Ben Keeble with Mobiliade, representing the University of Nottingham. I'll let Ben set up there. Now, Ben has invented a portable battery-powered mobile device which can lift a person with mobility problems from a seated position or lower them from standing. Ben, with Mobiliade, All set? You've got
Yes.
3 minutes. Good luck. Your time starts now.
A few years ago, I noticed that my granddad was having trouble sitting and standing. He couldn't go and see his friends and family because there was no portable mobility device on the market at that point. So, therefore, I decided to make it my job to come up with that. So, look here, I created a mobility aid, or the company, Mobility Aid. There are potentially over 4.3 million mobility aids users in the UK. Customers want seats that have the flexibility to be able to move while still providing that mobility. And the current value of the UK mobility market is between £450 million and £510 million. This is a big issue. There are no powered seat raisers that have the power of a riser recliner sofa that are fully portable without requiring to be plugged in. The current products all have problems. They're difficult to decide on the right weight setting. They break easily. They're very uncomfortable. They're not powerful enough to lift the elderly, similar to these spaghetti engineering arms. They're spring-loaded and not powered. So if you graph out the static sofa raisers to the spring-based seat raisers that I have before, there's a gap in the market which fits perfectly with Mobility Aid seat raiser, which I have here. So the direct sales price is £250 with a material cost of £88. This gives a gross margin of £142, which is 57%, and via distributors with a 30% discount, which is standard, it's £175, which gives a gross margin of £67, which is expected to decrease. The product is currently being prototyped, and we are looking for compliance and regulatory testing, which is required for this product, such as CV testing, etc., etc. So first we're going to roll out the product online. This is going to be done through business to consumer marketing. Then we're going to start the business to business sales to mobility stores, where we have significant connections with Able World, the largest UK mobility store, through the marketing manager who I'm personal friends with. Then I'm going to start selling to care home groups and elderly social groups in order to create bulk orders for the product with potential future investment in the NHS. I'm offering 20% of the company for £50,000 investment. Thank you. And it's that easy to set up.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ben, with Mobility Aid. Well done. Fantastic. Right, well, there it is. Where were we, Caroline? Any questions?
Yes,
for Ben?
lots of questions and things in there. I'm going to start with the similar one to what I asked earlier. What do you see as the biggest risk to this?
So the biggest, there's a couple of risks. To be honest, what we're currently doing is we've currently got it through prototyping, and we've fixed a load of the problems with this pre-prototype that we've got currently here. So if I'll go through with you slightly later, if you want, when I'm not on camera, through some of the risks that I fixed through the pre-prototyping. But I believe at the second, this product is by far, it fills a pre-existing gap in a pre-existing market. It has clear market need. It is therefore fairly well documented as to where it stands within the market.
Thank you. Chris, question for Ben?
Interesting, and we've all got elderly relatives, so we can all see the market for this for sure. So it's not very nice. My question for you is, where are you with IP protection on this?
We are currently working with, I can't remember the names of companies. One of the big IP patent companies. We've had significant meetings. We've got the initial product patent moving through the initial stage of patents, and we're moving through with some of the smaller bits, the smaller changes that we've got for safety regulations and things like that, which are the issue which we're trying to get the funding for, because that's so in effect it's moving significantly far forward. We've got funding for it, and it's fully funded.
Yes, I mean, my following question was going to be, because if you don't get that in place quickly, the potential for this to be copied and mass-produced in other parts of the world where the same problem exists, I'm thinking the Far East here, obviously, could really, you're giving somebody else a great idea here.
Yes, of course.
Is that something you're aware of with them? Yeah?
Yes, I've already got the basic patent, the pre-patent in place, which is why I'm presenting the idea here today.
Very good. Terry, we've got time for a question from you.
Well, I love your story. With your granddad being the inspiration for this, has he tried, and what was his feedback to you on how you could improve it?
He absolutely loves the idea. He's really, he loves it because it means that he can come down and see us. Because who has got elderly relatives that can't come down to see them because they've not got the mobility products, the static riser sofas that they haven't got at their houses? This brings that over to us, so it gives us the power to be able to see our beloved relatives yet again. And that's, I think, a really nice thing to have.
And personal stories always make for a good business pitch. Ben, thank you very much indeed. Ben with Mobiliaid, Ben Keeble. Thank you, Ben. Okay, we are moving on. Thank you. Our second startup finalist is Team Moddies from Lancaster University. There's some stuff going on. I'm going to move out of the way. Now, this startup developed a range of collectible, customizable, and programmable robot STEM toys to enable children to make their toys come to life. Now, whilst helping them at the same time develop coding, critical thinking, and technological skills. So we've got Team Moddies here on stage. We've got Stephanie, Michelle, Lucas, Nathan, Joseph, and Sean. And I believe in the audience supporting is Danielle somewhere. Danielle, here she is. Danielle's giving us a wave. Thank you, Danielle. Okay, guys. Well, Team Moddies, the stage is yours. You have 3 minutes. Good luck. Your time starts now.
Introducing Moddies, the modular, programmable and customizable robot toy set to transform STEM education.
Hi, I'm Moddy. Nice to meet you.
Our Moddies mission is to inspire the next generation of young people to dream big and reap the rewards of working hard by doing something they love.
The world is experiencing a large-scale digital transformation, with the UK technology sector expecting close to 700,000 new jobs by 2025. STEM skills are needed more than ever, yet teaching methods are stagnant. Here at Moddies, we seek to provide an engaging and fun way for anyone to develop their STEM skills. At Moddies, we want to ensure children are well-equipped with the tools that they need to secure a rewarding career.
Now, Moddies utilizes an intuitive Python-based interface, which aims to teach coding the fun way. No more frustrating syntax or compiler errors. Now it's easy, digestible chunks of information that grows with the user, unlocking more advanced topics as they learn. Now, Moddies aims to teach important coding skills that are very valuable to employers everywhere. Now, you might be wondering how we're going to keep interest within Moddies. Well, Moddy itself is infinitely customizable with any of our interchangeable Moddy modules. Each Moddy module allows the user to see the actual impact of their code, which motivates them to stay within the Moddies community.
The customizability that Moddies offers is unparalleled. We'll be running regular competitions and polls on our website and social medias in order to gain an understanding of what our customers want when we release new expansion packs. Due to the nature of Moddies, you can mix and combine different packs. For example, you could have a bus or a cat, or personal favourite of mine, the bus cat. Future developments for Moddies include a communication feature between them, allowing for a multiplayer mode, the collaboration with well-established brands, and the rollout of Moddies across schools and in other educational settings.
This is the first stage in our growth projection pathway. Over the next year, we will conduct market research, product design, and customer feedback. The first prototype is complete, and the second is well underway. We want to take the second prototype into schools to really gauge what our customers want. With the gained knowledge and capital, we will invest in mass production. And we truly believe with expansion to this in the following years, we can reach a 7-figure revenue stream.
At Moddies, we strive to offer a world where coding is reimagined, where children can thank you for listening.
Good bit of adaptation at the end. Well done. Well, here we go, judges. Here's the prototype for Moddies. Kwok, we're over to you for the first question.
Yeah, love the design. It brings me back to my childhood somewhat. So, and just interested because having children myself, I've been looking into lots of different STEM toys, and there's definitely a growing base of and market for this. Now it's also getting very crowded with the big players like Lego and Mattel and so forth. How do you feel like you and what's your plan will be to stand out from that crowd and really grow the market for this?
Take this one, yeah. Well, what's different about Moddies compared to its competitors is that it draws together different sort of segments of the STEM market. So there is other coding toys which already exist, and there's other sort of customisable toys. But none of these really bring it together like Moddies does. On top of this, the user interface that we use for the coding relies on and utilises Python primarily, which compared to the majority of the competitors on the market, they all use sort of block-based programs, whereas Python is a text-based program. And this is also much highly more sought after by employers, which is something that really I think everyone wants for their children, is these essential skills.
Yeah. Yep.
Lovely. Caroline?
Yeah, I really like the fact you're focusing on Python. I think I completely agree. I think it makes a lot of sense. In terms of then the kind of, is it a subscription model you're thinking about? What's the kind of the funding model and who you seeing the customer and what kind of willingness to pay are you seeing in that?
Sean?
Yes, so the idea would be to sell, let's say, this Moddy as a starter pack, which includes the Moddy body, the middle bit, and a set to have a number of sets so you can mix and match from the get-go.
Just to add to that, the base pack will also include dog and car customization pieces.
Yeah, and from here, to keep people interested, we'll use our customer feedback to find out what sets they want, what is interested at the time, and we're going to have expansion packs to keep people coming for the new pieces that they want. The up-and-coming Moddies will be ready and wearing depending on what customers want.
Just again to add to that, the Moddies is extremely customer-centric. We will be specifically doing polls and asking our customers what they want. Every new expansion pack will come out completely based on the designs that our customers choose.
And one more, Chris. Yes, we've got time.
Just in a sense following a little bit from what Kwok was talking about. It is a big growing space, and there's some big players in there. Is it your thinking to try and go it alone and try and build this yourselves, or have you considered potentially taking this to a major player that could scale this and get this to market much more quickly?
That is what we want. We will be pitching to investors and trying to get.
May I?
Yep.
Ideally, yes, that is what we want. We want to, like people like yourselves, we are very grateful to pitch. We want your help, and ideally we can get Moddies out on the market with the help of big players.
Especially if we were to have a Sainsbury management fellow on board. That's why winning this is very important to us, because we really believe in Moddies.
I recognise that language from the Dragon's Den, which we have said this is in a way. Guys, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Moddies from Lancaster University, thank you, judges. Insightful questions as always. You might want to take Moddy with you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, our third startup finalist is Team Atlas Smart Technologies from Queen's University, Belfast. Now, this startup has invented the Smart Bell. It's a smartphone-controlled dumbbell that offers 26 weight levels and which can be used in conjunction with Stronger Mobile, which is a gamified workout tracking app. So on stage, we have Peter Gillen and Jack Fullerton from Team Atlas Smart Technologies. Guys, welcome to the stage. Welcome to the competition. Your prototype is here. The stage is yours. You have 3 minutes, and the time starts now.
Imagine a world where you could get better fitness results at home than you could at the gym. We're Atlas Smart Technologies, and we've built this future. I'm Peter, and this is Jack. Home fitness today faces several challenges. Unless your house looks like this, the average person doesn't have the money or the storage space for effective home workouts. Adjustable dumbbells are the obvious answer to the problem, but customers have 3 frustrations with current offerings. Firstly, they don't have enough weight levels. Secondly, they lack the community to make consistent progress. And thirdly, dumbbells take too long to adjust. There is a market need for a dumbbell that allows you to get a full workout from home without having to compromise on workout quality.
We developed the solution, the Smart Bell. Shown on screen is our manually operated engineering prototype. We're developing a fully electronic Smart Bell, which thanks to our novel mechanism design, has 26 weight levels. People select a workout routine on their phone, put the dumbbell into the cradle, and the weight automatically adjusts. We launched a gamified workout app that partners with your Smart Bell. Stronger provides users, and it converts their workout numbers into fun and shareable workout statistics, such as telling people how many rhinos they've lifted this week. Over 30,000 people have already downloaded our app, and we have over 100 monthly subscriptions.
We have developed a novel mechanism that has 10 more weight levels than the current market leader and decreases the adjustment time by 39 seconds. We have built a community of 15,000 followers on TikTok to encourage people to meet their goals. We have solved our target market's 3 biggest problems, and they're incredibly excited to buy the Smart Bell. These are busy people who want to stay in shape, but who don't have the time to attend the gym. They often live in apartments or have young families, and therefore storage space is limited. Buying a Smart Bell saves them storage space and over 1.5 tons of CO2 emissions compared to buying individual dumbbells. We have developed a costed business plan which has been reviewed by Intertrade Ireland. We are launching our manual Smart Bell, expanding into the USA, and then launching our patent-eligible electronic version. Market analysis shows a serviceable market of almost £2 billion for our product line. We've raised £48,000 in non-dilutive backing and have an entirely self-funded business model thanks to revenue from our app. In the past 24 hours, we have added 14 new subscribers to our user base. We require £150,000 to go to market and will break even with sales of only 300 units. The Smart Bell costs £500, the same as the market-leading Bowflex 560, who sold over $100 million of their product last year. We are projected to achieve a revenue of £35 million by 2025, and we anticipate we will sell 1,025 dumbbells within year 1. We want you to join us as we provide our customers with any weight, anytime, anywhere. Thank you.
Well done, Peter and Jack. Well done, chaps. Terry, a smart dumbbell. Any questions for our guys?
Wow. I'm really impressed that you already have a really large community kind of following you guys, and I imagine you're teaching them weight training and giving them tips. What have you learned from them?
Yep. So really, whenever we developed the app, we wanted to make not our version of the app, but we wanted to listen to the community and really build something for them. So Jack here, you could probably tell this story better than me, Jack, about how we launched it.
Yeah, so initially the app was going to be specifically just for the dumbbell, but we thought we're going to have to wait for, hardware takes a while to launch, so why not just start building the community with the app already? So we launched it as an offline workout tracker, which sort of focused on more fun elements, and then we just started marketing on TikTok, and then we just started getting users in, and because I was the only developer, I was very active, so anytime someone messaged me with a bit of feedback, I was straight on the reply. I usually did what they asked or fixed anything they wanted, and it ended up us getting a lot of traction because we got a lot of reviews sort of stating this is the first app where I've been able to talk to the developer and actually see my ideas or my feedback get implemented. So I think that really kind of helped us build this community, and then we set up a Discord, which is kind of like a chat site, which allowed us to kind of even bring the community closer together. And with Discord, you can set up chat rooms. So we had like gym advice chat rooms, and everyone just started helping each other out. So it was a really good experience.
Any specific piece of advice you could tell us from the group? Something you changed?
Yeah, so one of the things was how workouts were logged in the app. Some people found it the way we logged body weight strange, so in the version released maybe, I think, a few days now, that's been completely redone and people love it.
Great.
And it sounds like it's quick turnarounds on those as well.
Oh yeah, I've no life, so...
Yeah. Kwok, a question from you.
Thank you. So health and well-being and strength and training are incredibly important right now, and what a market to get into. I suppose what's I'm interested to find out is you have this wonderful product. It's very smart how it connects up to your phone. You understand, how it connects up to the different workouts. What's the next stage with this product? How do you see this evolving over time?
So our initial plan currently is to continue to grow our app, and we are anticipating that within 6 months we will be able to entirely self-fund the development of the Smart Bell, roll it out and release it. So we're going to first launch the manual version of it, use that to almost de-risk and test out our supply chain, and then we're going to launch the electronic version of it. And from there we can really go to anywhere. We're not just selling a product, we want to bring a personal training experience into people's homes and really make fitness convenient. Like, for most people, there's a big barrier to entry whenever you want to start working out. Maybe you don't have the time, you don't have the knowledge, but with our app and with our Smart Bell, we can bring that straight into your living room and make it accessible for everyone.
Lovely. Thank you. I'm afraid we've only got time for 2 questions there, so we're going to move on. Thank you guys for the questions. Thank you to Peter and Jack from Queen's University Belfast. Okay, our 4th startup finalist is Amris, Team Amris, representing the University of Southampton. Now, this startup provides AI solutions for real-time aerodynamic performance analysis to enable engineers within the automotive, the aerospace and renewable sectors to improve decision-making throughout the design, test and deployment stages of a project. Christian Thoma from Amris is up on stage, ready to go, Christian. Your 3 minutes are up on the clock and your time starts now. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Christian. I'm one of the co-founders of Amris. Amris provide AI solutions for real-time aerodynamic performance analysis to enable engineers to improve their decision-making throughout the design, test and deployment stages. In F1, with the rule changes this year, it sent teams into chaos. And Mercedes have dropped from being a winner down to a 3rd place team at best. This has been caused by porpoising. This is where the aerodynamic loads change along the straights, causing the car to violently bounce up and down. And to find solutions to this problem, teams need a perfect understanding of their aerodynamics at all times. Losing the World Championship can cost a team up to 20 million euros in prize money, but the prestige is worth way more at an estimated 12 billion euros. And this can happen to any team at any time. Currently, with hundreds of sensors measuring thousands of parameters on the vehicle, teams still need to do more. So they can add hundreds of additional sensors with these large aero rakes, which disrupt the flow and require the teams to do a lot of additional work to learn from. Or they can add specialised paints, which give a great visualisation of what's happening, but no direct data for the teams to work from. And both of these methods can't be used during a race. Our method combines modern machine learning methods with the data the teams already have access to provide a system that minimises the number of additional sensors, is non-intrusive to the flow, and can do all of this in real time so that decisions can be made during those critical moments. But these problems aren't unique to F1. In the automotive, aerospace and renewables, we look to tackle problems such as increasing the range of vehicles and also improving the efficiency and operation of wind turbines. But our focus point is in motorsport to begin with, due to the urgency to develop new technology. We plan to start off as a consultancy-style service, tailoring our core product to the specific needs of the users. And during this period, we'll develop and de-risk the technology. After 12 months, we'll bring that technology all together into a standalone software package that can be sold at scale. To date, we've validated a working prototype, and we're currently in talks with customers across all of the sectors outlined. Today, we're looking to build connections, whether it's with yourself or anyone else in the room. We're looking to use those connections in the network to validate our technology in a commercial setting and grow that into a business partnership. Amris, revolutionising aerodynamic performance analysis, one industry at a time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christian. Christian Thoma with Amris. Caroline, an F1 fan?
Not yet.
Not yet.
There's still time.
Yeah, there is. Questions for Christian?
So just interested to understand the IP behind this in terms of, so if you just explain what the IP is and then how you'd be protecting that, would be really interesting to hear.
Yeah, so what we've developed is a machine learning model. Can't go into too much detail on it, but in terms of it takes a very sparse number of measurements, real-world measurements, and then reconstructs to a very high resolution, typically what you'd see in like a CFD or FEA analysis. And in terms of protecting that, we don't have any intentions of patenting the product, just because it's very difficult to patent machine learning models, and it's incredibly hard to also defend them as well.
Thank you.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, this is a fascinating area, the whole concept of machine learning and big data and the analytics that sit on top of all of that, and what it can do to drive optimization in just about anything and everything we talk about now. The applications are, manifold. The question, I guess, I've got for you is there's some big boys out there pursuing this type of approach in many different sectors. How are you going to stay ahead of the game, and how are you going to avoid effectively, being a pathfinder, but ultimately getting swamped by much bigger players who've got much more capacity to drive this bigger and faster?
So alongside the model that does the reconstruction process, we're intending to build one that also learns as it collects the data to help in that training process to build a more robust and efficient model, so that over time we can stay ahead of our competitors just by being a first mover.
And Terry, question?
The IP argument is it's a difficult decision to make, isn't it? So I'm understanding why you've decided not to go that route. But what have you looked at in terms of the potential consequences, and why were you willing to accept those to make a decision not to?
I think speaking with mentors and advisors that, again, as I said earlier, it's very difficult to actually defend the patent. And also because we're not creating a physical solution, often I think in UK IP law, it needs to be embedded into a system as well. And because we haven't done that, then we can't go down that route. And I think in terms of trying to, the reason we're happy to do that is because as a first mover, that's where our advantage is, and also why we've also looked to develop additional technology to keep us ahead of the game.
I think we've time for one more question, actually. Kwok, round to you.
I like to almost go counter to some of these points here. I almost think that this technology is incredibly complicated and requires a lot of interest in technology and coding to actually pull together the insights. And sometimes when you do data collection, the most important part of it is what you use with that data and how you then translate it into actionable insights. So I suppose you have potentially protection there if you have the capability to turn that data that you collect from those vehicles, from those wind turbines, whatever, into something that the client can use in a consultancy basis.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the other sort of potential opportunities is to use this in digital twinning models. So utilising all of that real-world data and that reconstruction process to provide much better simulation. So, for example, in motorsport, having better sim racing settings to, aerodynamics is incredibly difficult to model in that setting, and give that driver, more seat time and more accurate seat time as well, just helps them ahead of the event.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Christian Thoma, and with his presentation of Amris. Christian from the University of Southampton there. All right, we're around to our fifth and our final startup, our final presentation of the afternoon. Team Repair, who are up onto the stage here now from Imperial College London. Team Repair is a sustainable subscription service for children which sends them an electronic gadget with planned faults and the tools needed to fix them, together with an app to teach them the concepts of repair. Up on stage we have Megan Hale and Anais Engelman from Team Repair. And you guys are going to be presenting, but we have some other team members in the audience as well. We've got Patrick, Oliver and Oscar. Give us a wave. There they are, guys. But ladies, the stage is yours. You have 3 minutes and your time starts now.
Let's start with a question. When something breaks, what do you do? Well, if you're like 80% of the population, you probably want to fix it, but don't know how. So you end up throwing it away, contributing to the 500,000 kilos of e-waste produced every day in London alone. My name's Anais, this is Meg, and when we were young, we loved taking broken things apart and trying to fix them, and it was these hands-on experiences that really inspired us both to become engineers. Current STEM education does not recreate such experiences, contributing to the STEM skill shortage, which costs the UK £1.5 billion annually. So, to inspire a new generation of more diverse engineers, we created Team Repair. Our programme teaches 8 to 12-year-olds the skill of repair by sending them electronic gadgets with carefully planned faults to fix, guided by our app. Through completing the repair, they get to see how components work, which is teaching science in a novel way. Through this, we aim to make STEM more accessible for the 500,000 children within the UK in this age category. So, how does it work? First, manufacturers partner with us to supply us with their fully functioning but cosmetically damaged products that would otherwise go to waste. We then engineer in faults for specific learning lessons for the children to fix, and then when they fix them, they send them back to us for us to re-engineer in a fault and send it to someone else. We're reusing our gadgets over and over again, creating zero clutter for parents and zero waste for the planet.
Team Repair's USPs are we're using real products to teach STEM, and we are teaching the skill of repair. We are doing this by teaching them debugging, disassembly, and how to fix real gadgets. All of this builds their confidence and makes them curious with their products. So, how can children access our programme? Either their parents can sign up to our monthly subscription service, or their schools can sign up to receive our boxes through company sponsorship. We found that companies want to sponsor our boxes to meet their CSR targets, and this is a fantastic market opportunity for us, with billions of pounds being spent on the right to repair movement and increasing diversity in STEM. Sorry. We know that our USPs are resonating with our customers because we've already got 300 people on our wait list. We have tested with hundreds of children in council workshops, and we have Fortune 500 companies contacting us about our company sponsorship programme. We are a team of 5 design engineers with industry experience in product and app development and educational tech. I am a female engineer, and during my life I've seen the lack of diversity in my field. And through Team Repair, we want to make STEM and engineering accessible to every child in the UK. By helping us and supporting us, we're hoping that we can inspire a child that might be standing on this very stage in 10 years' time. So thank you for listening, help us on our journey, and help us to fix future.
Thank you very much from Team Repair. Well done, ladies. Oh, here we go. Straight in. Well done. I'll give you a second to open those up. Actually, whilst you're opening that up, Chris, I'm going to come down to you for a question maybe for Anais and Megan.
I think the point about engineers get their first exposure and excitement from fixing and, frankly, in my case, breaking things is actually so true. And I think that the interesting thing we live in today is we live in a very much a throwaway society today. And we are culturally brought up that basically not to try and fix anything anymore. In fact, one of the challenges is many things are just not fixable because everything's sold in a module. So I really like the concept of this. The question I guess I've got for you is, this is going to require a massive culture change in society to start thinking about fixing things, and as opposed to carrying on with that throwaway society. How do you think you're going to get scale this out there and really get traction in the marketplace, but in society?
Mm-hmm. Well, in terms of where we are from a societal point of view, we've hit this at the right time because there's the right to repair movement. Companies are now being kind of forced to make their products more repairable. In terms of how we want to scale up, I think we are doing this B2B program because we see a huge opportunities for companies to sponsor us to then give these to children to make it accessible for maybe children who don't have access to a high quality STEM education, and we hope to do that through that wide scale,
Okay, I'm going to bounce back as you've had a little play with the products there, Caroline. Questions for Anais?
So really interesting company. I think this is a really interesting idea. I guess my question would be, I can see the real attraction from the first time you use it, the second time you use it, maybe the third. What about how long do you need to retain a customer for to make this economically work for you?
So we're planning on launching with a 12-box program, which gives us a customer lifetime value of £300. However, we will continually be releasing new products to keep them engaged. Each box builds on the knowledge from the previous one, and they also get to keep a tool with each one. So it's constantly building their knowledge and tool set and skills. In terms of long term, we're also going to have a look at expanding into different avenues, such as including more complex repairs with coding, and that's how we hope to retain them past that initial 12-month window.
Terry, question?
Oh, this is so interesting, and I love how you guys have tied it back to your childhood. It was really, really great. I wanted to ask you what, in terms of learning styles within sort of child communities, which can vary so much, you all were immediately attracted, you know, to engineering. How do you identify children who might want to go in this direction, and what type of, you know, messaging might you have for education communities in terms of how to identify children who this might be perfect for?
Yes, it's really interesting actually. So I worked at BAE Systems for a while, and I was asked, like, how can we get more women into our workforce? And we've identified that fixing and getting hands-on with products resonates with so many engineers. Like you said, Chris, like so many engineers did this when they were younger, and they can take apart real products and they can see how they're already capable at a young age to repair this sort of product. So they can see the applicable skills from that. So we're hoping that by showing kids hands-on learning, but also through real products, they'll gain the confidence to want to go into engineering, and that they can go into engineering.
Great, excellent. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you. We are going to wrap that up there. Thank you very much. Guys, I'll let you get your prototypes, your products back. Ladies and gentlemen, Megan and Anais from Team Repair, representing Imperial College London. There we go, we've done it. We've got through our 10 teams, our 10 finalists. They've all pitched, and now it's up to you guys, our judges, to decide which 2 big ideas and which 2 startup pitches are going to be our prize winners here today. And also, our judges are going to be deciding on that top prize of £5,000 that will go as the Enterprise Award, and that will be going to the team which has best represented a commercial potential. Big prizes up for grabs. Lots of tension in the room. Judges, you guys have got a tough job. I don't envy you at all. So I'm going to let you guys head off to deliberate and to discuss, maybe argue, who knows. The walls are thick and hopefully we won't hear what's going on. So I'm going to let you guys head off now whilst that's fresh in your heads. Ladies and gentlemen, once again though, please let's hear it for our judges. Thank you very much. All right, so here's a brief recap of our terrific finalists here tonight. First of all, we had Team 1, Argicat Robot from Oxford University, who wanted to prevent hospitals from throwing away unused medicines by using robots as sterile dispensers. Team 2, My First Carbon Kit from the University of Birmingham, who's designed a passive home-use carbon capture system that enables people to reduce their carbon footprint from home. Team 3 was UMAC from the University of Greenwich, who's designed a low-cost, environmentally friendly 12-volt air conditioning device that can be retrofitted to existing products, to existing fan units. Team 4, Plastic-Powered Train from the University of Birmingham, with a big idea to use hydrogen gas sourced from deconstructed waste plastic for hydrogen fuel cells to be retrofitted to electric trains. Team 5, Amara Automotive from the University of Southampton, has designed a 4-wheeled weatherproof e-bike with crash protection and minimal emissions. And now we heard from our startup teams. Team 6 was Mobiliade, representing the University of Nottingham. And with Mobiliade, there's an invention of a portable, battery-powered mobile device which can lift a person from a seated position or lower them to a seated position. Team 7 was Moddies from Lancaster University. They developed a range of collectible, customizable, and programmable robot STEM toys to enable children to make their toys come to life, to talk to us, and to teach them the technological skills in the form of the robot we had there, or of course, the famous Buscat. Team 8 was Atlas Smart Technologies from Queen's University Belfast, who have invented the Smart Bell, a smartphone-controlled dumbbell that can be used in conjunction with a gamified workout tracking app. Team 9, Amris, representing the University of Southampton, providing AI solutions for real-time aerodynamic performance analysis to enable engineers to improve decision-making, real-time decision-making. And Team 10, Team Repair, who we've just heard from Imperial College London, who have a subscription service for children which sends them electronic gadgets with planned faults and the tools they'll need to fix them. There we are. There are our competitors this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And so now it's your turn to pick your winner for the £500 audience prize. So for this, you just need to type slido.com into your web browser or your device browser, whatever it is you're using. So there it is, slido.com, slido.com. So when you're into that, you can go and it will ask you for the event code for our event here this evening. Your event code is 3060409. Type that in. And you can go to the polls and vote for the team that you think had the best idea or that you feel has made the most compelling pitch up on stage in their 3 minutes. So please vote now, because voting is only open for 2 minutes. So that's you guys here in the room, and that's everybody watching on YouTube as well. Okay, while the judges are deliberating, it's time to hear from our sponsor, Engineers in Business Fellowship. Would you please welcome to the stage our President of Engineers in Business Fellowship, Mr. David Falzani, MBE. David. It's been good, hasn't it, David?
Absolutely extraordinary. Thank you, Rob. Wow.
Second, sorry.
What?
Put the code. Sorry, 2 seconds. We're going to do a code. We're asked for the code again very quickly. The code very quickly is 3060409. I'm sorry, David. Well, we want to get those votes in. 3060409. Sorry to interrupt you, David.
No, thank you again, Rob. Well done. What an incredible set of presentations we had. You know, what an amazing competition. I'm sure you'll agree with me that the finalists did a wonderful job of presenting their business ideas, which showed really high levels of cutting-edge innovation. They all deserve a huge round of applause. Fantastic job. Engineers in Business Fellowship, or EIBF for short, is a charity that promotes business education for engineers. EIBF began as a Sainsbury Management Fellowship in 1987 and was founded by Lord Sainsbury of Turville, a huge supporter of providing business skills to engineers. Members of EIBF are known as Sainsbury Management Fellows, and we've all received a bursary which enabled us to study for an MBA at a leading international business school. And EIBF continues to provide MBA scholarships to talented young engineers. We also look to encourage engineering students and younger engineers to develop business skills. To do this, and one way to do this is to participate in university innovation competitions, which we support by providing prize money. We are now working with 37 university partners, and in this past year, the competitions had nearly 6,000 participants and an audience of almost 300,000 students. As well as cash prizes, the winners of the university competitions have access to mentoring from one of our Sainsbury Management Fellows. We'd like to stay in touch with many of our past champion finalists, whether they won a prize at the competition or not. So I say to all of the finalists today, please do keep in touch with us. And here is the story of one of last year's winners, Dr. Claire Mann from Nottingham University. Claire will be telling us how her business, Change Extra, has progressed with the help of £3,000 startup prize she won last year.
Hi everyone, my name is Claire Mann and I'm the CEO and founder of Change Extra. We're a business passionate about empowering women through positive change. I was a student at Nottingham Trent University in 2021 in the pandemic, studying a Masters in Data Science and also suffering from symptoms of menopause. There was limited support and no really good evidence. I decided to start my business to fill that gap. I had great support from my university and their various entrepreneurship programs. I was supported to write a business plan and entered a business planning competition. I was totally shocked when I won several prizes. The biggest shock for me was winning my university's Engineers in Business prize, as I hadn't even realised I was eligible. As a female new to STEM, I didn't really think of myself as an engineer. My professional identity was still developing. I won the award and some financial backing and was able to start my business and bring Change Extra to life. I was then shortlisted as a national finalist in the Engineers in Business competition and invited down to London for a wonderful day at the Royal Academy of Engineers to meet the judges, be interviewed and have mentoring. Sadly, this day also clashed for me with my final presentation for my dissertation, so at the end of the judging day, I had to go down into a room and have my Viva examination remotely. Luckily, I must have been on a good vibe that day as I got a distinction in my dissertation project. So the final for us this time last year took place online, so I had my pretty dress and my face of makeup and my pyjama bottoms on. That was a strange time, wasn't it? Anyway, once again, I didn't expect anything, so was totally shocked and thrilled to find out that I was the winner of the Engineers in Business Champion of Champions in the startup category. Winning this award has had a massive impact on both me and my business. The financial support from the award enabled me to enlist the support of a marketing company to help me to write and publish a free ebook, Surviving the Menopause, which was downloaded by over 500 people in the first month. I followed this up with paid versions of the book for women and also for their allies, which are now available for sale on Amazon. The press agency that supported me following the event had a massive impact, although good timing helped a bit there too. So I won the award just before my official launch of my website and services for World Menopause Day in October 2021. The press picked up the story and I ended up on local TV and radio and was on standby for the national news. This raised the profile of my business and myself as a founder and innovator. So helping me to generate customers and interest really helped me to build my business in the year since winning the competition. Winning the award has helped me to develop my flagship product, a health tracking app, Pause Track. This is the first app that can track all symptoms of perimenopause and will help women to understand their symptoms, as well as collecting big data that can inform research, policy and practice. The app has just launched for World Menopause Day 2022. So I have a huge thank you to say to the Royal Academy of Engineering and the Engineers in Business Award for the difference it's made to me, both personally and professionally. My professional identity has come a long, long way. 2 years ago, I was a student in menopause, in a pandemic, with an idea, but not a lot else. 1 year ago, I was a founder, taking their first steps into entrepreneurship. Now I can say, with some confidence, that I am an entrepreneur, an innovator, and a pioneer in STEM. I am an engineer, and I'm confident that I fit here as I'm trying to engineer a solution to a problem that affects so many women like me. I own a business, I have built an app, and I've grown as a person. And none of that would have been possible without the support of this award and the wonderful team of people behind it. So, in closing, I just want to give a little message of camaraderie and support to the other finalists out there this year. Firstly, you are amazing people. You've already gone above and beyond your status as a student. You're an entrepreneur, engineering solutions for a better world. You did that. I'm so proud of you. Winning this award and pushing your business further has the potential to not only change your life, but the lives of others around you. I think you're all amazing. There are some incredible ideas and innovations in the final tonight. I want to wish you all the best of luck. You're all winners for this journey you've taken, and it really only gets more exciting from here. So have a wonderful evening, keep shooting for the stars, and I hope it all goes well for you in the future. Lots of love and good luck, and thanks.
to say, Claire's can you give us a wave? There's Claire at the back of the room there now. I mean, the experience that she will have had in this last year of having been in your position last year where you guys are now. Claire, are you going to be around later for your drink? Right, Claire's there. You can go at her with questions and find out what you need to know. Thank you very much, Claire. Congratulations again. Listen, it's obvious to see just how much that cash injection from engineers in business has helped to drive Claire's business forward. Okay, so now hopefully you've all managed to cast your vote to get that code in correctly and to pitch in the right competition. Otherwise, there might be some competition on the other side of the world that you've all voted your votes in for. But I'm sure it's all gone swimmingly. And it is time to reveal the winner of the pre-show People's Prize. David, could you do the honours and announce the winner of the pre-show People's Prize? And actually, while you're at it, and the audience prize, which is the one they've just done on Slido as well. Thank you. Over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rob. I'll be very happy to indeed. So I am very happy to announce that the winners of the pre-show prize from voting on the EIBC website is Team Amara.
Congratulations.
So very well done, Team Amara. You'll be receiving £500 towards your big idea. So very well done to you. And the winners of the audience prize from our viewers tonight is also Team Amara. Who will be receiving another £500 prize towards their big idea. So very well done and congratulations. Clearly people really liked your ideas. It clearly came across very well, so very well done. So the audience really liked your ideas. Will the judges feel the same?
Well, yeah, David, good question. And time will only tell because they are fighting it out behind these doors here to decide the runners-up and the winners. But before then, our principal guest this evening is Professor Alan Rennie, Professor in Manufacturing Engineering and Director of Lancaster Product Development Unit at Lancaster University. Professor Alan Rennie, can we welcome him up onto the stage, please, ladies and gentlemen? I've got my little notebook for you, Alan, with some questions. Now, I know that you're a big supporter of integrating business education into engineering and engineering science teachings at university. Now, why is it that you feel that is an important aspect in these technical subjects?
I think, first of all, it would be excellent if I could be a student again and go through this process.
Yeah.
That these people here, fantastic stuff that's come through tonight.
I agree.
In the ideas and the innovations. For me, really, it came about through frustration. So I've been an academic now for 10 years, teaching business development within the engineering context. And teaching that module in particular, ideas coming forward, but nowhere to take them. So being able to integrate the ethos of business development and engineering business development into engineering innovation and product development. And fortuitous that the IBF had launched that program at the time to be able to tap into that. And actually, that frustration started to go away. I then had money that I could use to invest in some of these fantastic ideas that the students were coming forward with. I think David told me earlier that Lancaster was one of the first universities to be involved in that. So maybe I consider myself a veteran now with the IBF. And again, our module year on year is growing with the number of students. So to be able to bring that into that is a fantastic opportunity.
And that element of money, that's money that's provided by Engineers in Business Fellowship. And as I understand it, you've actually integrated that competition into the degree course. Is that right?
So it is now a core component of the second year. Very luckily, it's after all the exams, so there are no worries in terms of the students thinking about what I've got to do now with this particular module. And actually, we get freedom for 4 or 5 weeks when we really go at it and we bring out the ideas from the students in the class. And it's not just about me giving feedback, but actually within the class, the other students and the other groups also provide feedback there as well. So it's peer-to-peer activity, not just lecturer to student.
And how many years has that been integrated?
This is our 5th year now.
And have you do you see that because of there is this element of competition, this element, the prize, basically, at the end of it, there's a winner and there's actual cash prizes. Do you see that there is an interest from students? Is there a healthy interest to get involved into the competition?
So. And it's not just about being able to consider developing your own ideas, but it's also thinking about the bigger picture, your own employability, your own skills development.
Yeah.
So all the things that employers are really looking for now as well. And it's not just about being a technical individual from an engineering degree. It's also about the business acumen, understanding how a business might operate and actually taking that in when you go into the world of work.
Because I guess the flip side of that, and I'm sure this is something you see as well, is potential missed opportunities for, let's say, technically minded students or students in technical subjects, engineering science subjects. Missed opportunities because of that lack of business acumen as they come out at the end of their university careers and go into the big wide world that could be a little bit fish out of water sometimes, not really knowing how to apply themselves. And so are there examples that you know of or think generally about those missed opportunities?
Definitely, and it's not just about going into engineering careers. Engineers are skilled in all manner of things and they'll go into other pathways such as finance or management or even into patent law. We've been talking about patents tonight as well.
Yes.
So there's many opportunities and pathways to go into. But we've seen it's not just engineers actually taking the module. I've got science students coming as well and electing this. And bringing in some of their expertise, working alongside engineers. And it's just a different bit of a concept for them to take forward as well.
And it's the competition that is basically made available because of engineers in
We try
business.
to promote it as much as we can.
Yeah.
And bring in as many students as we can into that. So being able to have scientists alongside engineers, for me, is great because it means that there's a message getting out there that actually this is a very valuable thing to do. Yeah. And it's not just something you have to do because you're studying the engineering degree.
Absolutely. I mean, so when I studied my mechanical engineering degree, there were 5 specialisms that you could go into. Aeronautical, automotive. One of them was manufacturing and business. Now, I elected not to do that. I elected to keep mine as general mechanical engineering as I possibly could because for me, I knew that was an easier way to get what I was hoping to be higher marks because it was black and white. It was right or wrong in some senses, in a lot of senses in the modules that I elected, whereas when you start to bring in business aspects, that can be a little bit more subjective, I guess. Yeah. Is that something that maybe is a barrier or that you see?
And it's not all about the marks and the classification that you get in your degree anymore. There's a lot of extra stuff, the added value you get from your degree programme.
Yeah.
So being able to engage with businesses, doing internships and placements and things like that, all adds to your CV. Joining your engineering societies, the professional engineering institutions, all of those extra things that are available to you, it adds to the CV and it makes you a much more employable individual.
As well as the kind of opportunities that the guys here today, and I know there are students from Lancaster University who are here today, that exposure to mentors, to sales managership.
They got that message across, didn't they, as well?
They certainly did. Because that's invaluable experience, isn't it? As you're coming out and starting to get into industry and looking for employment.
Yeah, and I can stand in front of the class in the lecture theatre and give them the benefit of my advice. But it's actually bringing in the mentors as well that can take it forward and do more than I can, building on my experiences as well.
And you said first of all there, it'd be great to kind of go back and to have that integration of this business knowledge, this business teaching, just some kind of insight into how it all works. Because I think I was incredibly naive when I came out the other end as to how that could be integrated in my career. I mean, and look what I've done with it. I've ended up, just mucking about on telly with it. But it does seem to me that is going to be more and more important in a more and more competitive employment market for engineers.
Yeah, and there are more engineering roles available just now, and I think there are graduates that we're putting out onto the marketplace. But it's the level of role that you're going for, and you're right, there's a lot of competition for that. So do you go for your corporates and your primes versus working for a small, medium-sized enterprise, for example, who are all in the supply chain to these organisations? And it's those smaller businesses that are really looking to tap into the wider range of skills, because within a small company you are doing a lot more in terms of the functionality of running that operation.
As I'm sure these guys are seeing, when some of these business ideas become commercialised, they'd be doing a lot of stuff.
That's right.
I have friends who went into who now run their own startups as engineers, and they're the marketing director. They're doing the HR as well as all the rest of that, and that's very, very difficult if you've got no experience in what that is.
Right. And we see that in discussions all the time with our industrial advisory board within the school, and they are looking for these skills as well, not just the the technical capability of the graduate output, but actually what else have they learned? What else can be used to support the role within an organisation?
And that's interesting. So you mentioned that an industrial advisory board. So they advise what the kind of advancement and what the contents of the course are and how that might change over time.
Well, you're looking at the content of the programme, where technology is advancing. How's that applied in a business context?
Well, that's exactly it, because technology is advancing at pace, and so obviously the teaching has to adapt to that as well. Is that the same on the business aspect side as well? Is that changing at a similar pace, and is it difficult to keep up with how that's moving, or are the two just in tandem? And
it's important to keep communicating with them, so there are advancements on all sides. And to have those relationships, those symbiotic relationships and discussions with those organisations is really important. So to answer that question, everybody has to talk to everybody about what's going on.
Yeah.
We can't adapt as an educational provision unless we listen, and vice versa. That exchange of knowledge is important both directions.
Yeah. So your role is it's quite busy and lots involved in it as well, yeah. Alan. Now, listen, I know that our judges are coming to the end of their deliberation. So my final question for you tonight, and without being prejudiced, because I know you have a team here, but how did you think the guys did up on stage here today under the pressure that they were?
Fantastic. It's not just about the ideas that have come together, but actually watching the pitching of those ideas, the presentation, and just the skill and delivery, all fantastic stuff. So, yeah, no prejudice to their favourites and their loyalties as well.
Listen, Alan, thank you very much, and again, congratulations on the work that you've done to integrate this and make it such a, I guess, a fundamental part of teachings within the engineering department at Lancaster.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Professor Alan Rennie, thank you. Right, so I've had that from the end of the room, which says to me that the time has come for the judges' prizes. Now, just to recap, remember there are two categories this year. There's the big ideas categories, that were our first 5 teams that pitched, and there's the startup category, that's the teams 6 to 10, with the judges awarding both a runners-up position and a winner's prize in each of those categories. So there are 4 prizes there. And do not forget the all-important Enterprise Award of £5,000 for the team with the most commercial potential, as judged by our 4 judges, our judging panel. So let's welcome them back on stage. We have Sainsbury Management Fellow, Ms. Caroline Cake, Sainsbury Management Fellow, Mr. Kwok Ing, Dr. Terry Holloway, and our head judge, Mr. Chris Shelley. Guys, welcome back to the stage. You all look actually fresher than I thought you might. It wasn't maybe... Yeah, I bet it was. I bet it was. We're going to crack on with the prizes, though, and thank you for the work and energy that you've just put into that. I know that was a hard job. Right, okay, so we're going to start with the runner-up in the big ideas category. And I'm going to ask Judge Terry Holloway if you can please announce the runner-up in the big ideas category who will win a prize of £1,500.
Umani?
Umak. Team Umak. Dino, come up on stage. What are we doing? We're doing big ideas runner-up. Big ideas runner-up. Dino, congratulations. There you go. You're back up on stage. How do we feel? Here we are. Quick photo. Do you know how do we feel about that?
Ecstatic. Thank you so much. I feel amazing, and this would proceed our business forward immensely. Thank you so much.
So there's a prize here of £1,500. Do you have specific ideas of where that money might go and how you might use that?
So mostly for, so obviously we are raising funds. It would mostly go in for product development, mostly.
Very good, very good. And so, do you go back? Now, you're not working. Are you working on your own with this? No, there's a co-founder as well that you work with on this.
I'm working on my own, but we have a proposed CEO who's my advisor as well.
And how are they going to react to knowing that you've won this prize? Is it the first person you call when you get off the stage?
Yes,
it is.
Yes. It'd be great. Thank you so much.
Dino, congratulations again, mate. Well done. Dino. Just checking again the right. Right. Okay, we now move on to the runner-up in the startup category. who again will be taking home with them a prize of £1,500. Kwok, you know it's over to you for this one.
Yes.
Please announce the runner-up in the startup category.
All right, pleased to announce that Amris will be the startup runner-up.
Team Amris, Christian, up you come. Startup runner-up. Christian, well done, mate. Congratulations. Let me present that with you there. Here we are, photo. Oh, we come in, here we go. There we go. Lovely. Christian, how about that?
Yeah, it's great to be, chosen as the runner-up, and just thank you to the Future Worlds team, Student Enterprise team, and Grace. I know you're watching at home, so thank you as well for all the support. Thank you.
Lovely. Now, a bit of a grilling from our judges you got about the protection around that. I mean, has that given you something to the IP and the protection around the other? Has that given you something to think about a bit more going forward? And I know you're very confident in the plans and the way, and that definitely came across in your presentation.
Yeah, it's definitely an obvious weak point with any sort of machine learning based startup that someone else could copy it, but I think we're confident that we can develop it and bring it forwards, that we can be still very successful.
And you're here presenting on stage on your own today. Are there partners and people involved in the business who aren't here?
Yeah, so the team is formed of myself and Grace. We're both just graduated engineers in aerospace and mechanical engineering, and yeah, we're both pushing forwards to get this going. And
Grace will be watching, will she?
Yeah,
you hope
Grace,
so.
Yeah, Grace.
So she knows. Grace, she knows you just won. So that's £1,500 that are going into the pot for you to help keep on developing the products and Amris.
Yeah, and maybe some drinks as well later.
Well, who knows? I'm not sure what the criteria are on the awarding of talent. Maybe we'll have a look at that. Christian, very well done, mate. Once again, well done, Christian Thoma. At least he's honest. Okay, it's now time to announce the winners of the 2022 Champion of Champions final in both the Big Ideas and the Startup categories. Now, each of these groups will receive £3,000 in prize money and a Sainsbury Management Fellow mentor. Judge Caroline Cake, over to you, please, to announce the 2022 Champion of Champions Big Ideas winner.
Well, we absolutely love this idea. So we thought, fantastic idea. The development had been done on it, so it's Team Amara.
Tamara, up on stage. Big Ideas. Well done, Tamara. I've got your other trophies here as well. How's the voice?
Okay.
Okay. Are you okay for another couple of questions? Yeah, go on. So that's a £3,000 prize award. Do you have strong ideas about where you can use that money in the development of your business?
Yes, we're currently working on the first full-scale prototype, so a lot of that will go into the development of it, but some of it will also be left over for the development of the business.
Yeah. Lovely. Because, I mean, what we see with the model that you have here on stage, I think it gave our judges a really good idea about what it was that you were designing, the product that you're trying to bring to market. And so with a kind of fully working prototype, obviously you can take that out and that message is even clearer, right? So that prize money then, I guess, becomes even more important in helping you develop.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to accelerate the rate that we can do it at.
Yeah. And have you got others involved in the business and in the project?
I'm a sole founder, but I've got advisors on board.
Yeah, very good. And so you'll be taking that back to the University of Southampton and partying along with Christian, or maybe it all goes into the business. Tamara, congratulations. Very well done. Oh, yeah, so sorry, quick photo. Lovely. Team Amara Automotive, congratulations. Okay, and we're now up to the winners of the startup category. Again, this is a £3,000 prize award. And our head judge, Chris Shelley, is going to announce that. Chris, it's over to you. Who is the 2022 Champion of Champions startup winner?
Team Repair.
Team Repair! up on stage. Well done, guys. Well done, guys. Here we'll do the formalities.
Yeah,
Yeah, very well done. Let me hand that over to one of you who wants to take it. Yes, Megan, you've got it there. How are we going to do this? We'll group in. We'll group in nice and tight.
Last 2 days. Yeah.
Team repair. Well, there you go. How about that? Winners. How does that sound?
Yeah, it's great. And it means that we can run a case study for our sponsorship programme. So thank you so much for choosing us as the winners.
Very good. And let's hear from some of the chaps, guys. What was it like watching the ladies here present your ideas and your business up on stage?
Well, we've had the opportunity to see them many times before pitching, and as always, they absolutely smashed it. I can think of two better people to explain our idea, our mission, and successfully convince you guys of its importance. So yeah, thanks from us. Thank you very much.
So what happens now? How quickly are you moving on with this idea?
Yeah, I mean, so we're currently flying with our R&D. We're looking to launch in April. So we're testing in workshops with councils in London and building up just the number of kids that have tried our product. We're refining it as much as possible to make sure we can just serve the best product at the end of the day.
How important has it been to have those physical products that you can actually show people as you are pitching this? Because I think that might have been a factor that it's very nice to be able to see stuff as you're pitching it.
Yeah, I think for our business, we've been told it's a bit of an odd business model we've got. It's a bit unique and we take the repair, we break it, we send it to children, they fix it. It's a bit complicated. I think when you can see the gadget, you can visualize the fun that children can have with it as well. And I think a lot of parents have said the retro aspect is also really appealing to them, and I think it's family fun for everyone, which you can see in the box.
Yeah, absolutely. And how useful have these last 2 days been, including yesterday when you had time with your mentor?
Very useful. I mean, it's always great to get the idea out in front of experts and to have it picked apart and put back together. And just the value we get every time we explain it, we always realise, oh yeah, we can do that better. And invaluable. Yeah.
Fantastic. Listen, guys, congratulations again. Well done. Our winners of the Startup Prize Champion of Champions 2022. Congratulations, guys. Well done. Okay, and finally, we move on to the final prize, the Enterprise Award, with a prize of £5,000. Now, this award is to help encourage the winning team to proceed with the commercialisation of their innovation. And I'd like to invite President David Falzani to come up and announce this year's 2022 Enterprise Award winner. Welcome back, David.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rob. Wow, the big one. I feel like I need a golden envelope to be opening. So, the 2022 Enterprise Award winner is Team Atlas Smart Technologies.
Congratulations. Up you come, chaps. Up you come. Well done, Peter. Well done, Jack. Well done, lads. There you go.
Cheers.
Hold it high. Show off the guns. Lovely. Very firm handshakes. Very firm. Guys, congratulations. Congratulations. Now, it does seem that just from the pictures, and that this is a product that you seem both very involved in, that maybe come from problems that you've seen and experienced yourselves. Sorry, you will need the mic. Thank you very much, Darren, for reminding me. Is this an area that is a passion for you guys?
Very much so. I mean, we have two other co-founders who sadly couldn't be here today, but we've all grown up going to the gym, and even Jack's a qualified personal trainer. It's something that we feel very passionately about, and we're really excited to be able to continue to develop our innovation in an area that really interests us. Yeah.
And what about communicating that idea? Because obviously the judges have seen that there is potential in the product. I'm assuming as well potential in you guys. So what about communicating that idea? Is that something that you found come easily, or maybe perhaps easier because you have an invested passion in what you're doing?
Yeah, like it's something that we're very passionate about. So it's it's easy in that sense to convey it, but in terms of the product, because we've got basically 2 products, and especially in 3 minutes, it's hard to kind of get across I think having a prototype helps as well, but we find that we've gotten better at it, but it's just getting across the key kind of message of the whole product that we offer.
How difficult was that to condense that down into 3 minutes? And was the mentoring you received yesterday useful in that?
Oh yeah, it was very useful. I think all we can say about that is we had to rewrite the script and we submitted a new PowerPoint. So
I'm sure you're not the only ones. Some nodding heads.
There was a lot of great feedback, and I think it really brought our pitch and kind of our value proposition to the next level, and we were able to convey it so much easier in 3 minutes.
Yeah. Fantastic. And what about questions from the judges up here? Were you feeling the pressure? Did you feel that we were very much under the spotlight?
Well, I think we had the advantage of we waffled on so much we only had 2 questions. But yeah, I think the questions allowed us to really convey the community aspect that we're trying to build, because we've never seen ourselves as just a product. We want to, build a community, and that's really what we've focused on from day one. Like, we sell merchandise, and we've really tried to convey our values and make sure that people identify with those. And I think that's really our competitive advantage. It's not our technology, but it's that we've got a band of people who want to see us succeed. And if you want to be a part of that, you can download Stronger Mobile.
God, look at him, he never stops. He never stops, business never sleeps. Listen, guys, Peter, Jack, congratulations, very deserving winners. I thought your pitch was fantastic as well. Congratulations once again to our Team Atlas Smart Technologies. Well done, chaps. Well done. Champion of Champions Enterprise Award winners. David, there you are. David, thank you very much for your ongoing support from the Sainsbury Management Fellows for this vital competition, as we're hearing about from Professor Alan Rennie earlier on, just how much of a difference it makes in universities. 37 different universities, you're saying now, and hundreds of thousands of people involved in that. Thank you very much indeed. And I'll come to our head judge, Chris Shelley. How did you find judging overall there? What was that process like for you?
Well, we kind of all came in with our own views of what we thought were going to be good, and I have to say that we all sort of were really impressed by the improvement from your video pitches to what you actually did. So I think congratulations to everybody. I mean, that was there was nobody that was weak up there at all. It was a very strong set of presentations. It was very difficult to judge it, but at the end of the day, it came down to where did we think ultimately the business that had the most sort of potential traction going for it, and that's why we picked the winner we did. But frankly speaking, there was 3 or 4 where we had to sit and we were literally splitting one vote on or 1 point between several candidates. It was a close run thing for quite a few of you, I'm afraid. So those that didn't win, don't worry, you were up there.
Absolutely, fantastic. Chris, thank you very much, and thank you very much again to all of our judges here this evening for your time and effort that you've put into that. And as you said, it's not an easy task. I do not envy it. Ladies and gentlemen, our panel of judges, thank you very much again, guys. Well, that's been a fantastic show. I don't know about you, but I'm full of excitement for what we've seen here today, for the talent and for the ideas that go from tackling, a lot around sustainability, but also everyday and worldwide challenges that face society. Now, for more details on how to participate in the Engineers in Business competition, visit the Apply page of our website. And please look out for the EIBC 2022 Champion of Champion Winners video up on the website here, eibc.org.uk/winners. That will be coming out soon. Also, a massive thank you to our sponsors, Purple CV, which is providing a professional CV package to all of our prize winners, and Cambridge University Press, who are providing our winners with the book Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Thank you to all the teams that pitched up here this evening. You were all absolutely brilliant, both in rehearsals and again during the real thing up here on stage. I know how much energy and effort that you've put into that, not just being here today, but over a number of weeks and months. It's no easy feat, and congratulations to you all. I hope you've enjoyed your time and can take something positive away from it, from the whole experience over the last 2 days. Thank you once again to our judges, Caroline Cake, Kwok Ing, Terry Holloway, and head judge Chris Shelley. Thank you so much. It's your expertise and experience which means that we can really send these guys on their way, knowing that they are very much on the right path. It's been an amazing evening. Fantastic ideas that are going to help tackle the challenges of the future. Thank you very much. I'm Rob Bell, and I look forward to more amazing engineering ideas in 2023. Thank you very much, and good night.